recorded.
Okay, if you a thick girl, go in there and ask your man, "Jam in that can quarter." We're gonna switch up. Because they care about the woman they're in a relationship with, not because they truly care about their children, but because being married adds points to them in the society. It elevates their status in the society. Having children also does elevate their status. Men also do care about having a woman, and marriage provides that opportunity to constantly have access to a woman's body. They care about having a woman because they want to constantly have sex with her. They want to have access to her body. So marriage also provides that for them. So men care about sex a lot. They love sex a lot. They also care about their status in the society. They're more concerned about how their fellow men view them than how women see them. So let's see how people are reacting to what he said in the comment section. This one says, there are godly men out there who value marriage and want family. Let's see how people reacted to what she said. Godly, Abraham, Jacob, David had multiple wives and concubines, and God thought it was just fine. Don't you think men know that and believe they are entitled to a few extra women? That's why godly men are often the worst. I can't believe there is so many chicks in this post listening to him. Look at him. Why would anyone listen to someone who looks like a dope head? This is coming from a woman. If a dope head says, watch out, there is a car coming and it's gonna hit you, aren't you gonna at least get out of the way? She's obviously saying that the man doesn't look good enough to give such an advice. She might be implying that he's a failure. Because of the way he looks, he has not been successful in getting a woman.
We listen to him because he is echoing what we have already seen ourselves. What we have already seen ourselves all our adult lives, and it's a percentage of us, a significant percentage of us, all our actual lives, not just adult lives, but all our lives, and what we have all seen in history. And you need to understand that the history that we know now, this is a sanitized version. This is the part that they thought was clean enough for you to see. This is the part they thought was clean enough for you to see. So what is the actual history? How evil was this? How bad was it actually? If what we're witnessing now, or excuse me, if what we can see from history now are the things they sanitize, how they make themselves look good.
So he's speaking from a place of pain, hate, frustration, and all that. To be honest with you, what he said does make a whole lot of sense to me. It's not new to me. It's not new to the people on this channel. We've heard this before. We've heard men talk about it. We're going to hear from other men. But before I get right into that, let's keep reading more comments. This lady says, not all men are the same. He's talking about him and his type of man. And let's see how people reacted. The creator of this content said, all men, look at you, still keeping hope alive for your man. Then the commenter replied and said, screenshot in all of these because for real, it's not that serious. Look at the man who's walking. Could he even keep a woman? And I'm starting to think this is a little bit of bullying because this is some of goofy stuff that people are taking too seriously. If you want to just be an F, then be an F. I know I'm better than that. I'm not a fan of an F. Maybe you are, but that's a personal thing. Stand on yours, I'm going to stand on mine. So this is coming from the woman that said that not all men. She believes a man is different. So people are attacking her in the comment section, saying all sorts of things. They called her poor, deluded woman. This one said all men, and you all are in denial. So now the conversation here is this. People believe that this applies to all men. Not everyone. A lot of women in the comment section believe it is all men. While some women believe that they have the unicorn men. Those men are special.
You need to understand something, okay? She is correct. The one that says that you are all in denial, she's correct. Listen, if it's not all men, it would not exist that it is all men. They would not even be coming out to say this at all. There are things that happen that you think that they're not real, but then they give you a version that would not ever exist if it wasn't real. Do you understand? Right? The reason you don't ever think that, like, when you look at someone's eyes, right? When you look at eyes in the dark and you only see eyes, the one thing you can depend on, that you are looking at, that is facing you, it's not just their eyes, but their face. You understand that? The reason you can be 100% sure of that is because there is no such thing as eyes on the back of your head. So when you're seeing eyes, you can be 100% sure that it is the face of the animal that is facing you, that you are facing the front of the animal. Right? You are facing the front of whoever it is, of whatever it is. Right? Now, that means that there is no version of eyes in the back of your head. Right? There is no version of eyes in the back of your head. This is why you can be reasonably sure. It is kind of like that. If there was no, if there was a thing where it is not all men, he would not be saying this. He would not come out to say this at all. There is no amount of crazy that would make him say things like this, right? Because that's the reason you don't hear schizophrenia people, schizophrenic people say things like, "Oh no, he's got back and he's got eyes in the back of his head," right? It's because that doesn't exist. They are still sane enough to know this fact. Have you ever heard any crazy people come say, "Oh, but I saw this thing and it has eyes in the back of its head"? They are still sane enough to know this. They are still sane enough to get this part right. Right? That is what I'm talking about. If not for the fact that it is actually true, it would not even come out, even to an insane person. Part of the thing that I did in my research was to also observe human behavior, observe animal behavior on a psychological and behavioral level, right? Like what is the psychology of how of what is occurring in this behavior? And the psychology is that it is only saying this because it is true. The thing that is the lie is that it is not all of them. That is a real lie. If it's not possible, so this all men thing is like, it's kind of like the eyes. The reason you can be sure, the reason you can be 100% sure that it is the face that you're looking at, that the face of the animal or the person is what is looking at you, is what you are faced with, it is because only eyes are only on the front of someone. Eyes are only ever in the front, and that is universal. That's how you can know this. That's how you can know this. And you never in your life, right, mistake that eyes could be in the back of the head. That if you ever saw someone's eyes, but you don't know what you're looking at, that you could ever think for a minute that that is the back of them. That is the same thing. That means you never mistake it. You never mistake it. And so he is coming out here to tell us that it is all of them, because they are not mistaken. They are not mistaken.
They cannot be like what this man has described, because to them, those men have been treating them nice.
They have authored confusion in us women. They have authored confusion in us women. That is why this mistake even exists. That is why that is why such a thing as not all men exist, and they continue to do it too. And they continue to do it.
So let's hear if it's truly all men for men, what men think. I'm not really going to give my opinion on this particular topic. We are going to focus more on what men are saying and how women are reacting to it. So let's hear what this man has to say.
Drop your kitchen scraps in here instead of here, and you'll never have to deal with nasty trash. Plus, it keeps food out of landfills. This is Mill, and it's truly the kitchen bin of the future. It's a really easy alternative to composting that has totally transformed my kitchen, and it looks incredible. I don't have to...
Okay, hi TikTok. I'm probably going to catch some heat for this one, because do you know what it is? All men. And I can immediately hear loads of people go, it's not all men, it's going to be the guys going, it's not all men, maybe a few women, because some have said it to me. But what I'm going to say is really important, because it is to 90% plus of women, potentially all men. Now, I only got this about 10 or 12 years ago, and there was a specific incident in the UK. I think it involved a UK politician. I can't remember the details now. But I remember having conversations with my girlfriend at the time. And because I listened to her experience of life, I suddenly realized that just because I know I'm a nice guy, that woman in the lift that I get, or elevator, that I get into, where she's on her own and we're both in there together, she does not know that I am a nice guy, that I am not going to attack her, that I am not going to rape her. Okay? Yeah, I use that word. Now, here's the thing. What we have to do as guys, and I understand the temptation, okay? I'm single, I'm still relatively healthy, I get attracted to women. And I remember an incident not very long ago, and I was in a hotel overnight, so let's just put the scenario. So, hotel, overnight, strangers. Door, lift door, elevator door opens, I'm going to step in, and there is an absolutely stunning woman in the elevator already. Stunning. Every instinct in me is to try and converse with her, attract her, do something. No. What I did, I acknowledged her, sort of kind of, I turned, and I faced down, put my head down, looked into the opposite, is to try and converse with her, attract her, do something. Every step in, and there is an absolutely stunning woman in the elevator already. Stunning. Every instinct in me is to try and converse with her, attract her, do something. No. What I did, I acknowledged her, sort of kind of, I turned, and I faced down, put my head down, looked into the opposite corner of the elevator. I stood as far away as I could from her and looked down into the corner of the elevator, because right there and then, I was a potential threat. Now, I don't...
So I wanted to talk about what he said about every instinct, okay? You have heard me talk many, many times about instincts, right? How biology designs instincts, which is that the instinct that, whatever it is that you are supposed to do in life, it builds a system of instincts into you to support that behavior, to make that behavior happen. Yeah. And it's very poignant to me that he would now say every instinct in him. Every instinct in him. Now, let's review this. You as a woman, okay? You as a woman, you go into, let's create that same scenario for you as a woman. You go into an elevator and you see a stunningly beautiful woman. What happens? What happens with you? Do you have the instinct, every instinct in you telling you to do something? You have none of it. Let me repeat that. You have none. You have no instinct besides the, hey instinct. That's it. That is all you would have. You might have the instinct to say, oh my goodness, you're beautiful. You might have the instinct to say that, and then that is it. But you don't have the instinct to attract her to do this and that. Listen to what these guys are saying. The only reason he has that instinct is because the predator in him built those instincts to instigate him to behave as his real self, because that is how his real self gets to make its living. This is why I told you I have been talking about instincts before this guy ever said this. He literally said every instinct in him as though it is built into every cell. Said every instinct in him. Like he's a freaking predator. What I heard there is a predator. The instinct for you to attract somebody means that you would not have the instinct, you would not want to leave them alone. It means you would not leave them alone. Even if it's not predatory, it is. Because if you, a woman, if you have the instinct to, to say something, to do something, and that instinct is that strong as he is describing, that means you would not leave them alone. That means you would not leave them alone. That means you, as a woman, with an instinct that strong to converse, you would not leave this person alone. That means you would be predatory to an extent of being annoying. That would be annoying if you have the instinct from every cell of you to converse. They have the instinct to be a burden to somebody. When organisms are units of life, which means they are independent, self-reliant organisms. Which means that you shouldn't have the instinct to do anything. You shouldn't have the strong instinct to do anything with them. Whatever instinct you have will be minimal at best. What he described can only be predatory. If every instinct of your body is telling you to do something with another organism, that is going to be a problem. You are going to be a problem for that organism, because because there is in you a situation where they could never get free of you, because you have that instinct, and that instinct is going to drive you to pursue them. You have made them a prey. This is what I'm telling you, that it is impossible that these males are human. It is even impossible that they are even an organism of natural origin. Let me repeat that. It means their human body, the human corporea that you see, it is impossible for that to have come about naturally. That is what I am telling you. Because an independent organism would not have such an instinct unless it is to be a predator. It is unless to be a predator, and a predator must be another species, which means they could not exist in this human form. Could not exist in this human form. And if they exist in their original form, that would have been a perfectly natural organism. But they do not. They exist in our form. What he's describing is the pure essence of what it makes to make somebody a prey. Even if you female, you have just the instinct to talk to them on the level that he is describing. Every instinct in you wants to talk to them. You will become a problem for that person. You will be pursuing them to get that done. That is why the communal instincts in us, is soft. It is not something that is driven into every cell like he is describing, so that we can still maintain our individuality and not be each other's predator. These biological designs are all very, very intentional. They do not make a mistake. These are very intentional design, which means everything that you're witnessing has a purpose, has a reason. That is why you're witnessing it. It has a reason why it is occurring.
I don't know that she was thinking that, but I know enough now and understand, and I've heard it enough from women to know that there's a 90% chance that she would have slightly gone onto edge the moment I got into that elevator. The best, the most human, the most caring, supportive thing I can do at that moment is to reduce the threat. I didn't understand until I spoke to my girlfriend about carrying keys in your hand when you're walking down the street on your own at night, when you've come back from work. The fact that a guy walking towards you, or potentially even worse, you can hear the footsteps behind you. You don't know who it is. You don't know whether he's a good guy or a bad guy. And this is what I mean about it is all men. All men are the potential threat. And we need to understand that, guys. We really need to get a hold on this. And I don't care about your bravado or your machismo or any of that bollocks.
The question here is this: are men inherently this way? Is this their innate nature?
The truth is, not every child gets the chance to go to the movies. In North America alone, more than 20 million kids may never step inside a theater.
Or is it a society that's made them this way? Because from what he explained to me, it seems like it's the natural way men react. It's like men are naturally predators and they see women as the prey. Let me know what you think about this in the comments.
No, by the mere fact of what he described as his own instincts, he's a predator. It is a predator. It is not if, what, a but.
Section. And for a man to decide to be different, it requires a lot of willpower. And that man needs to be very intentional. For him to go against the natural way men behave, according to what he's saying right now. This is what I'm getting out of what he's saying. Let's read some comments from his video. If I put you in a room with 100 identically marked snakes, but reassured you only 5 were venomous, would you be wary of all the snakes? The creator replies saying, exactly. It's a good analogy. That is one way to look at it. But
that's exactly why it can be. That is not exactly why. That is one of the reasons. That is one of the many reasons why it has to be all of them. That's one of the many reasons why it has to be all of them. The second is that all this perps that you're looking at, right? All this, war, all this, massacres. What is it? What is the commonality? What is the constant that you keep witnessing? It's not, you've seen them from every culture possible, every religion possible, every nationality possible, every time in history that is possible. Every socioeconomic background possible. The only constant is they are male. And if you want to tell me, women do this too, no, women are copying men, which means that with the violence from women that you're witnessing, that you're seeing, is a proxy for male violence. It exists because male violence exists. Let me tell you that. It exists because women, first of all, they have to deal with this violence, which means that they also have to react to it. When they are being violenced, they have to respond. And that response sometimes is also violence. That's a proxy for male violence, which would not exist unless male violence exists. And two, they are seeing this and thinking that this is just normal because it happens so much. This might be normal. They might be thinking this might be normal. Plus, they're instigated to do it, literally told to do it, brainwashed to do it. There is a significant amount of women who are brainwashed to commit this violence. And there is a thing where there is a genetic thing where a woman who carries a male in her womb becomes reflects that same evil back. That is 4 ways. That is 4 ways. I think it's 4 that I've described. 4 ways where male violence has been proxied into women. Now, the rate at which women are still committing this violence is still like 900 times less. 900 times less than what males are doing. So if we are to say, let's remove all these instances where we're seeing the influence from males, what do you get? That will be at least half of it. That means that now it is not 1,800 times. It is not 1,800 times what, males are now committing violence at 1,800 times what women are committing. This is what women are doing is a proxy for male violence. It is a proxy for male violence. It exists only because male violence exists. It would not exist in a natural environment where males do not exist.
Tell you, a lot of women are.
Let me tell you something. Let me repeat that because I don't think I was clear. There would be zero violence in an environment that is natural. There would be zero violence in an environment that is natural and excludes male. There would be zero violence where males are not. There would be 0% violence. All these things are happening. There will be 0% of them if males were not here. That is why I'm telling you, these things that you're witnessing are a proxy for male violence.
are insisting that the men are bad. It's not because a lot of men are bad and some are good. No, they believe all men are bad. This week, a man was walking behind me in the dark. He came closer and said, "Please don't be scared. I just want to pass quickly," and walked past me. It's refreshing to hear a man talk about this and acknowledge how vulnerable women feel in this situation. My 14-year-old son told me last week he crossed the road because he felt like he was out walking her and didn't want her to feel unsafe. As a woman, I can reassure all men, we see you and appreciate you when you cross the road and so on. We really do. Let's talk about how men feel about this statement. It's all men. Like I said from the beginning, that some men react with aggression. They become defensive. They feel like it's unfair for women to put everyone in one category, for women to put all men in one box, because to them, they believe that it's not all men. Some men are good, not all men are bad. Let's hear what this man has to say about generalization.
Guys, let me break it down for you. When women say all men, they're not saying all males in our species. It's more like when they say, ugh, traffic is the worst. You know, it's not.
Fuck that. I'm saying all males. Yeah, I'm saying all males. Listen, just because they choose these behaviors, doesn't mean that this is not what they are, right? That doesn't mean that this is not what they are. Just because you choose to not have children doesn't mean you can't have children. Doesn't mean that you're not an organism that is designed to have children. Do you understand that? Just because you choose to close your eyes doesn't mean that you can't see. This is insane. This is insane to even equalize these. Just because that your body automatically breathes for you doesn't mean you can also breathe for it. You can also breathe. Are you getting this? Just because you choose a bald hairstyle doesn't mean that you can't grow hair. I mean, what is that we're even saying here? The reason that some behaviors have choices, right, is because they are not dependent on your survival. It means that they're not dependent on your survival. But the instincts, but the instincts are still there. The default behavior are still going to be there. The default instincts are still going to work exactly like they are.
For women to put all men in one box, because to them, they believe that it's not all men. Some men are good, not all men are bad. Let's hear what this man has to say about generalization.
Guys, let me break it down for you. When women say all men, they're not saying all males in our species. It's more like when they say, ugh, traffic is the worst. You know, it's not every road.
No, listen to me. I'm saying all males. I'm saying all males. Listen, if I were to start reviewing what mothers of sons, even even in infancy, experience that is different from what they experience with carrying daughters, it would make you shake in your boots. It would make you shake in your boots. Yes, it's all males. Yes, it is all males.
Every day. But it's a problem that is so common that it feels like a safe bet. For a lot of women, dealing with the uncomfortable, dismissive, and even dangerous behavior from men isn't a rare experience. It's not a rare event, it's a pattern. So, over time, generalizing becomes the best way to talk about it, because you don't want to qualify every sentence when you're talking to another guy and say, some men, not you, but some men. So
I'm actually going to end it here because it's getting too long, and it's getting too long. So I'm going to end it here and do a part two of this. Okay.